Welcome to another glorious morning in Rust. Today we're going to be looking at building a fairly secure PvE base. Quite often we have people starting on the server and they're not really sure how much security they need. It's PvE, so they fully expect that they can build a base out of twig and that is secure. Quite often they're proved very wrong. What I'm going to be doing here is showing you how you can build a secure starter base very quickly, quite cheaply, and expand that outwards into something a bit more interesting and hopefully unique. You can use a little bit of creative flair to expand it how you like. I've chosen a location. I'm by a river because water is quite important, drinking water, and a river provides clean drinking water. Just have to go into it slightly and look down. I am also near the railway yard. You can just see the top of the tower just behind that rock. I'll get a better view in a second. But crucially, I'm also near a warehouse. This will allow me to quickly and easily recycle components that I don't need, and give me a good source of frags, melt frags, and high quality metal. And that'll be useful when building my base. So there's the warehouse, or the mining outpost as they're referred to on the map. And as you can see, there's the train yard just underneath that beautifully bright sun. So the location I've picked, which is just outside of the build radius for those buildings, is just over here. It's a little bit out of the way, in amongst all these rocks. Just in this flat area here. As you see, the lighthouse in the background there, so you're near other bits and pieces. Obviously you will need to scout the map that you're on, and given that the map changes every month usually, you'll need to do this every time you build. So to get started, we're going to find a point somewhere in the middle of the flat area. We're going to put down square and triangle foundation as so. We're going to place a tool cupboard. And the tool cupboard, if you don't know, will stop other people building nearby, which is especially important to keep people off of your roof, and from generally griefing you in the various ways possible. Put a couple of doorways in, so obviously we're going to need access, a couple of walls to close off the other sides, and we need to put in 2 roof panels. Now you'll notice that both the roof panels are square, even though the foundation, one of the foundations is triangular. That's important. You'll find out why later. Finally, close off the tool cupboard. Make sure that the walls are the correct way round, because they do have a soft side. And then get on with upgrading. So this build costs around 600 wood, plus 1 tool cupboard, which is another 1,000 wood, and about 2,500 stone. On top of that, you're going to need doors, which we'll get to in a minute, and various other bits and pieces. But as the core of a larger base, and doubling as a starter base, this is actually pretty cheap. I think it's well within the affordable means of most new players. So the first thing we're going to do now we've got our starter base down is add some doors. I'm going to have a wooden door on my tool cupboard, and I'm going to have a sheet metal door facing out into the exterior. The reason for that is these wooden doors are pretty weak, especially against a flamethrower, but also against hatchets and other tools. Anybody who has put the effort into getting through this door is probably going to not be too concerned about whatever's here. And at this stage, in a starter base, they don't really need access to your tool cupboard. Everything that you own is going to be in here. So you want this area at this stage to be more secure than your tool cupboard. That is not the case moving forward, but for now, you want the stronger door on your loot here. So once you've got the doors in, add code locks, not key locks. I would never advise using key locks. If you die and somebody finds your key on your body, they will have full access to whatever door that key belongs to. With a code lock, you can die as many times as you like out in the field, and you won't get locked out of your base, and also you won't get locked in. So always use code locks. Okay, we're going to add some storage, and I've got 3 boxes here, 1 large chest and 2 small. You can mess around with this configuration to suit your needs, but I generally find this works for me. You need to be quite careful about how you place this, because you want to maximise the amount of space in this this starter base. We want to get this as close as possible to the wall so that we don't block the player's access to this door. Doors will just clip through models such as these boxes, but players don't. So you want to make sure you've got room to get out. And I want to rotate this using the R key. And then we just want to get this in as close to these other boxes as possible. Great. And now we can add small furnace, which actually you could have put down first, but doesn't really make much difference. A campfire so that you can cook food. I'm just going to put that in this corner. A sleeping bag so that you have somewhere to respawn if you get killed either by another player or by an animal. And I'm just going to shove that on the floor in front of the large chest. And lastly, a bit of comfort in the form of nightlight. So this is pretty much it. There's ample storage now for you to start collecting components and materials for the rest of your base. But this is the least you need in order to secure yourself on a PvE server where you shouldn't get raided anyway. But also, if you're not out in the open and you've hidden this away somewhere off the beaten path, this is probably sufficient for a few hours, if not one night, on a PvP server after a fresh wipe. I wouldn't advise doing something like this mid-wipe, only because if your surrounding neighbours are much more advanced in their game, then they will be able to come and raid you pretty easily. If you're all just starting out and all have similar sort of starter bases, then you're probably good to go for a little while. But that's it. It's small, but it's cosy. It looks a little bit odd at the moment, but that will change as we move along. And as I say, you can change the layout of your starter base. You could probably even fit 2 sleeping bags in if you're playing with another person to really maximise your starting position. I'll be covering several different configurations that will allow you to grow your base from this initial starter layout. But in the meantime, I hope this has given you some idea of what you need to do in order to get started on a PvE server. Anything less than this, really, and you are running the risk that some idiot will come onto the server and steal your stuff. But yeah, if you're following this basic build, then you should be okay. As usual, if you liked this video and want to see more content, then subscribe and rate the video. And if you've got anything you want to add, suggestions, tips, feel free to comment down below. And yeah, I will hopefully see you all again soon. Have fun. Bye.